everybody, and welcome to the journey through the EGH Paranormal Talk Show, live and exclusive on wherever you're watching it. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are, please say a big hi to everybody around the globe. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's the 12th. It's March the 12th. Hello, everybody. And good evening to Mr. Psychic Si.
Evening.
And good evening, Mr. Paranormal Paul.
Good evening. How are we doing?
I can't say, I'd like to say living the dream, but I don't know what dream I'm living. So it's very hard to say, isn't it? So
Very hard.
Hello, everybody. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Lovely Heidi Hansen, all the way from Denmark, is locked in. And
Evening, Heidi.
Good evening, Heidi.
And as I do every week, Mr. Paranormal Paul, how are we?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Like I asked just a second ago, I thought it must got to be Mercury retrograde because I've been feeling a little bit off this week, and I can't quite put my finger on why. But hey ho.
It's that time of year, though, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
But I say Mercury retrograde. We did look it up. We are in Mercury retrograde, I believe. It goes on to, when did we say it goes on to?
20th. So next week. Next Saturday finishes.
The 20th of March. It should be ending next. So if you've got any Mercury retrograde problems, let us know in the chat. Good evening. Mr. Psychic Si, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. All good.
Good.
No ranks, because if I rank, it ain't going to get any better. So I'll go with it then.
Well, we could rant. We could say, please make the weather better for us. You know, that would be nice. You know, I'm fed up of hearing about the everything else that's going on. Let me know in the chat who is with us tonight, where you're watching, where you're listening from. Well, that's quite sort of a quick opening, really, for us, because Paul normally goes on, Si normally goes on. You're both all right tonight. I don't know what to do for the next 5 minutes.
It's Mercury retrograde for you.
Well, Mercury retrograde normally sods about with the technology. I'm not going to tempt fate with what I'm doing. But it seems to be all right. So pop in the chat where you're watching from. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, we've got Sandra that is locked in as well. Welcome along, Mrs. A. That's what I haven't done. I haven't done that just at the moment. And I need to go over to this. Have we got our notification? Let me know if you've got your notifications, because Facebook has done a new thing where you have to now tick something to find the notification. So once again, they don't want anyone to watch. You've got to go and find it.
There you go.
So that is what is crazy. Right, that should be it now. That should be it. I'm quite happy with where we're going. Right, we have got a subject tonight. We are going to be talking about a subject tonight. But please feel free. Am I got the right thing, or haven't I got the right thing? Are we connected? I'm not. Yeah, we are connected. 3%. Let me put that on charge. And if you want to get in contact with us tonight and you want to ring us through to the studio, please do. I'm going to get Paul to do it in a minute. Paul, can you put your finger along the bottom of the screen, please? Somewhere somewhere along the bottom.
It never lines up, does it?
It never lines up. But if you want to give us a call, please. I don't know the number. I'm waiting for it to scroll, so I've just got to sort of ad lib to it goes. Keep going. If you're going to give us a call on 079 444
Ain't got me yet.
29, that is 079 444 35529. Throughout the evening, guys, it will be scrolling along the bottom. Once again, if you are listening again or watching again, and you try and ring, it's not going to work because I'm not going to answer the phone because you're not live at this moment in time. It's only happening for tonight. If you do want to listen to us and have a talk and you can't watch us, please feel free to go over to our Spotify page. Okay, we are on Spotify, and that is for you. That is Journey Through the EGH Talk Show. Head over to there, and you can download and listen to us in your car, through your earpods, or anything like that. Please head over to there if you want to catch up with us in the week because you want to just listen again or you've missed the show. It will always be uploaded after the show to the Facebook pages for both pages. So that's all the, what do you call that? The boring stuff. That's the boring stuff out the way, shall we? The bit that I have to do every week. We have got a subject for you tonight, and I think this subject is going to be very, very, very interesting. So every week I ask if there's any questions that our listeners and our guests want to send in, and we have had a question come in. It's a guy called Matt, and he is wanting us to do an A to Z, and maybe an idiot's guide to maybe like the paranormal, the ghost side of things. And it got me thinking, yeah, why not? Let's do something about, and I said, send us over the questions that you want us to ask. And I didn't expect it to be that quick, but within 5 minutes, them questions come over with a long list of things that he would like to know a little bit more about. Now, bearing in mind, like we say on this show, it's an opinion. Okay, an opinion because we've got no facts to back it up, no proof. And when you say we have no facts, no one's got any facts when it comes to the paranormal. It is anecdotal evidence, and it is what you believe it is. Because someone says it like this and someone says it like that, it doesn't mean it's wrong or right. This is going to be our take on what we believe it is. Okay, so if you are watching, if you are watching on YouTube, let us know you're there. Okay, pop it in the chat. Simon looks like he's going to have a red and no question with his post-it notes. Red and no.
No, I just think even from some of these subjects, we will probably disagree or probably have different opinions on.
Well, let's just say we know that's going to happen. Because I can guarantee you, I've already seen the one on there.
Red
card, very constantly. Red card, straight off the bat. Yeah. I've got a red card.
No.
But it will be very, very interesting. So the great scene, who made it? It's so great indeed. I haven't played the theme song tonight, but I do normally do it. I have got to get a new song for the start of the show. I do have to get that, especially for our Spotify, because 3 minutes to wait that noise is quite long. But Matt is here, so you will be watching. This is the guy that sent in all the questions, and we will go from there. We've got Sandra in the chat as well, which one will be based towards her, being the queen of the board. So we will head on to the show. And Simon, do you want to start us off with the first sort of bullet point that Matt put in his sort of question?
Was that psychometry?
Psychometry, that would be.
Right. It's one of the things I'm not very good at. I've never been able to do it. But what it is an ability to read an object's history through touch, object reading, feel. That's my gauge on it. And you know what? You could put any object in my hand and I wouldn't get anything out of it. I've done it where we've done it in class where people have said, dead or alive. All right, I've got 50-50 chance. I usually get them wrong. But yeah, it's not one of the things that is my field.
No, but
I know there's people very, very good at it.
Simon, could you just do me a favour? can you just grab the bottom of your computer and tilt it towards you a little bit to get you head? That's better. It
Yeah.
was cutting off the top of your head. That's
Oh,
perfect.
that's all right.
we didn't want, that's perfect. But don't you think, yeah, that's exactly right. Psychometry is placing an item into your hands and trying to read the energy of that. I know mediums do it throughout time where they place rings or necklaces in people's hands to try and bring them loved ones forward.
And
things like
it
that.
works, doesn't it? I've seen it work, so I know it works, but I can't do that.
But how do you think it works? I suppose is the question. How?
I think. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Go, Paul.
Well, my granddad used to do it. He was pretty good at it, to be fair. A lot of people used to send him items. Used to wrap it up in more than one piece of, give it to me mum. Mum used to take it down to him, and what he'd do, he'd sit there with it and record what he's getting, and then send the recording back to the person who sent it to him. So he didn't even meet the person.
Wow.
And every one of them said he was spot on. And I'd either give them a piece of their own jewellery or an item of their own, or someone that's passed. But you've got to try not to handle it too much if it's not yours, because then you're putting your vibrations on it.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to vibration and frequency. So, but yeah, I know he was pretty spot on. With I never really asked him exactly how it worked, or it's just one of the things he was able to do. He was quite a powerful psychic, to be fair. He could give good readings, or always see your aura, but he was very good at that.
So I put another spin on it then. Not to say, it's holding energy, but why do people give us some objects because it holds an energy. Yeah, okay, if it's a wedding ring or a ring, and I get that ring could have been on that person for such a long time that we get that energy, we get that vibration from that. But do you also feel it just could be just an easier way to find that person in spirit? Is it I suppose like when you're doing when you're doing a reading or something like that, and someone says, "Oh, could you get something from this?" And straight away you put that object into your hand and you're trying to link with that object. But could that possibly be that we might be doing that wrong? And is all you're doing is putting that thing in your hand, or that object in your hand, as like the backlight? Do you know that, when Captain Gordon puts that light out, you're waving that energy for this person to come forward. So for me, psychometry is a very fine line of how you do it. I feel personally, I think we put too much emphasis on the actual object rather than actually listening to ourselves when it comes to doing psychometry. Because I do just feel that we're not getting the reading from that object, but the general senses I feel is that we're actually getting the reading from the actual person. It just makes a clearer channel from A to B to work. That's how it makes me feel anyway, when I talk about psychometry. And when I do psychometry, I'm not necessarily talking to the object in my hand. I'm trying to say, look, whoever's object this is, come forward and talk to me. Come forward and talk to me, rather than trying to read the object. Because as you say, Paul, don't handle that object down the line. Well, how many, if we're going back time where this ring's been passed through the family, jewellery back in the day got passed from sort of mum to nan to mum to
generations.
So if you do it wrongly, we could be picking up many energies here. And that's why maybe when Simon says, I can't get psychometries, because the person that person wants to talk to is not the right energy for that ring. It's because someone else has handed it, and what he's getting is that person that doesn't want that person, so that person's going to say nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
You know, do you know? I don't mean it like that. That's just trying to use it as an example. So yeah, that's how I feel it. Psychometry.
I think it can. Certain parts of it can be like we got a team member that often brings objects home from places, and some of them have been pretty.
Yeah, but do you not feel that's just a beacon again?
It
You know, you're taking that energy away from where it needs to be. I think Matt, as do you remember the Doll's House and the music felt like a link to the person who made it? Which, we have haunted dolls, but they've gone missing somehow. Yeah, wherever they are.
That's another story.
That is another story. Told you, dolls are weird things. But yeah, evening, Natalie. Welcome to the show. So yeah, I do get psychometry, but a simple how it works. I think the correct way is how Simon's put it and how Paul's granddad and that foresee it. But I do feel, me personally, it is just a beacon for that person who that person wants to hear from. And I think
and I think if you've actually got that ability in that field, like Paul's granddad obviously had that ability in that field. But it
wasn't always past people that he'd read for. A lot of people were alive. He just wanted a reading from them, so they'd just send that item of
brilliant,
whether a watch or a bracelet, necklace, earring, and he'd give a reading.
And I think that would then go along with how I would feel it works. And that feels like, I do think there's a link between, I do think we're getting a little bit of spiritual connection there somewhere and how we work it. Because I say, do we call psychometry, when we go into these haunted locations or you're walking through a forest, Epping Forest, and you place your hand on the tree because the tree's been there for many, many centuries. And, you're drawing the energy from the tree to see what it's telling you. When you go into some of these haunted locations and you put your hands on the wall or you're putting your hands on the fireplace.
Could be Stone Tape Theory as well, that, couldn't it?
Yeah, but then is that not, in my eyes, Stone Tape Theory is the same as psychometry?
I will put my hand on a tree and a hand on a wall in a place to get information, but not on objects. So I don't know.
That is an object, though.
Yeah.
It's an object, and I think it's the same to me. That Stone Tape Theory is no different to psychometry. You're drawing an energy from something.
Yeah,
that would be, in my eyes, what that would be. So yeah, psychometry. Are we all happy that we've ticked the box with psychometry?
Yeah, I think so.
If we was really clever, we should have got someone to put the list in A to Z. Then it would have made it more easy. Right.
More fun this way.
More fun.
Yeah.
Next one. Go for it.
Me?
Oh. Yeah. I haven't got the list up, so if you've got the list up, you go for it.
It's my notes. It's actually research. There. Elemental. Now, when I actually researched this, it says it's a supernatural entity or force thought to be physically manifested by a cult, means, or worship. Now, the only experience I can sort of relate to that is Leap Castle. Or Leap Castle, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's completely different to what I've always.
I think it is as well.
Elemental as.
Because I think me was going, Paul, because I think we're going to say the same thing. So you go.
Well, when I first got into the game, I've done a few courses and a bit of studying and things like that. And one of the first things that come across was elementals, and it's a spirit energy, a natural spirit energy from the earth. It's usually found near water. It's never been on the earth plane. It's never been human. It's not a demon. It's it's an elemental spirit. It's found in nature, usually near water.
Weird.
Yeah, and
Manifesting.
Yeah, people have seen sort of like your will-o'-wisp type thing, But that's how I've always understood elementals to be.
Well, we're going to have 3 different theories. Going to be 3 different theories because I think I will tie in with obviously Simon being a spirit, and I think with you I get it, but I was always led to believe it's made up with the 4 elements of what we say the earth. Was it water, fire,
air and earth,
wind? Yeah. And I think you put them together. I have to draw the line somewhere when it comes to my paranormal brain. I'm not a big believer when we talk about elementals and things like that. I do believe that the elemental side of thing is a creature, along the lines of something like the Green Man, with the tree face and things like that. That is where my go good. I don't like to put too many. I think we've got to a point within the paranormal field that we've got so many different styles of spirits that it's becoming very, very confusing of what we could be dealing with. Do I think it's from the demon side of things? No, I don't. But I do generally feel it's made up of some, when people talk about Mother Earth, when people talk about, I do think it's something to do with my belief, how I would see it is it's made up for the, I'm assuming Simon probably too old, not saying it wrongly. Paul, you're probably along the same sort of lines, but do you remember Captain Planet? When a cartoon called Captain Planet, he had the rings. Captain Planet, he's a hero, gonna bring pollution down to 0. And he was made up of 4 things. It was earth, wind, fire, water, and he had 4 rings. And when they all come together, he become this powerful being that protected the earth. And that a little bit is what, not to say Captain Planet's an elemental, but when
you hit it on the head there. I think it was meant to represent that kind of thing.
The elements, I think it's the elements of the earth. For me, that's what I feel an elemental is. But I sort of think we're all in the same sort of.
Yeah, because when I said a cult, I didn't mean, well, it's either by a cult of devil worship or worship, which is good worship. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad worship.
No, not at all.
It could be worship of good earth. But what was the one at that castle? Do you remember what it was meant to be? Because I couldn't remember when I was looking at it this morning.
Well, it was an elemental.
Yeah, but what was the story of it?
It just jumps down the that well where all the bones were. At the top of the castle, there was I don't know what they would call it, the torture pit where they would put people down like a chute so they can't get up. The same one at St Breville's.
Yes,
that sort of thing. I suppose it's got a certain name to it, but it seemed to go down there. It walks across the window and goes down the hatch, so to speak. Once again, an elemental to me, I just think it is a protector of the earth in some way, shape, or form. How that works, don't know, but I think it takes a different kind of person than me to be dealing with that form of energy. And I don't mean that disrespectful or anything like that. I do believe it has to be someone that I think would be sort of either a practicing pagan, Wiccan, or something along them lines, because I believe that is where they go with that sort of sense and feeling with that, bringing up, you know, the potions with making from the earth's divine and, you know, plants and things like that. So in my head, that's where that side of things would fit. And not to say I don't deal with them if we ever come across one, which we have done, it wouldn't be too much in my remit. I wouldn't really know where to go. I don't know if you can communicate with them. I'm assuming
No, I don't think you can. You can't. You can't. Supposedly.
So,
Unless I'm told otherwise.
yeah.
It's not one of the things you can communicate with.
Okay.
Evening, Mikey. Evening, Ross.
How you doing, matey? Nice to have you on. So yeah, that is elementals. Next.
Poltergeist.
Oh well, this is a different one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the explanation for that is a noisy, mischievous spirit of supernatural force. From the German word meaning noisy spirit. It can throw and move objects, loud noises, breaking household items, linked usually to children and individuals experiencing emotional stress. So we've all seen and all know about the Enfield hauntings and other such programs as that. So, yeah, I believe there's something in a poltergeist. Yes, I do. Have I ever experienced it? Well, I've had objects moving, I've had loud bangs, but I don't know. Don't know. I mean, we were in the right house, weren't we? East Drive.
Was that poltergeist though?
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't know. I you know, I think once again, I think the name poltergeist. I think what you've said there, noisy ghost, noisy spirit. Once again, I think it's a thing. Potentially, Hollywood has taken it and run with it, made it worse than it actually sounds to me. What Simon has just explained there, if you put it in layman's terms, what the real meaning is, noisy ghost. It's a noisy ghost. I say, yeah. We've all heard taps, we've all heard bangs, we've all heard things move and had things move. Yeah, to me, it's just a spirit in my eyes, how I see it. If we're looking at what that terminology is saying.
Yeah.
It seems to be centered more around individuals than a place, though, with poltergeist.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right.
So when you look at the history of it, it's stronger between early teens, especially females.
Yeah.
Coming into puberty. I believe, I don't know if it's really spirit, because I think it could be something to do with a kind of a form of telekinesis, where these young women are getting all these emotions, they don't know what to do, and it's building up, and they're, unbeknown to them, creating an energy that's moving things around. Even with the Enfield haunting, you know, with a young girl, Janet, it wasn't just in the house. When she was sent to the nunnery, things were happening. So it followed her.
Yeah.
And I believe it was her not knowing she's doing it, but she was creating that energy as well.
And there's a lot of stories, like there's a Battersea poltergeist. There was one over your way, Russ. Fobbing. There was one in Fobbing that's, you know, that you don't hear about. It's not, but you have to read about it. And that was it. Funny enough, that was the only one I think I've read with a man. Affected a young lad.
So, you know, we could have a mini discussion on this one. So, we've just had, like, Ross has just put, I don't believe Fred the poltergeist is still at East Drive.
No, he probably went with a girl.
Yeah, I'm not a strong believer in poltergeist. I do generally feel, you know, it is just a normal spirit that is linked to these adolescents, children, that is easier way in, that, as Paul says, maybe generating power. The more you give that credence, the more the energy can grow. You think then we go through time, children saying they've got imaginary friends and talking to energies within their cots and things like that. Now, does it take maybe that energy to get going? It takes it on, you giving it, like Paul just said, you are giving it power, you are feeding it what it needs by giving it something, by giving it its name and giving it its, we talk about, Annabelle, the poltergeist in Annabelle doll, they give it a name. They started to
But
feed
that
it.
was an actual spirit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think poltergeist and the Annabelle was different.
They did call it a poltergeist because it started to scratch and move things. But
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. For me, I think the word poltergeist has grown over time. So when someone says to me poltergeist, if someone come to me and said, right, Russ, I've got a problem in my house. Someone's come in and put my fridge on the table and balanced a chair on the top of the fridge, then I would be looking at what I would be calling probably a poltergeist activity. Yeah. I'm not, but then
that does happen though. That does happen. I'm not saying Enfield. It does happen. It's other places that has actually happened.
And I think normal hauntings are sometimes just getting thrown the poltergeist word.
And that's And I generally feel that there isn't too many poltergeist cases out there.
But if you read up before the films, before all that, there was a lot of stuff in the 50s, early 50s, and poltergeist is a very old word. It's not a new word, is it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
They didn't invent that in 1960.
No. But I think that's what I'm saying. I think the word poltergeist has grown over time. I think it's spiraled out of control.
Yeah,
I generally do think the word poltergeist has gained precedence.
Yeah, but it was even there when Harry Price was around, because he had poltergeist activity at Baldy Retro and places like that. It was poltergeist.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it poltergeist. I'd call that just a normal activity in my eyes.
With poltergeist hauntings as well, the way you can determine poltergeist, they're quite famous for starting fires.
Yeah.
Not like huge house fires, but you could just have a little pocket of fire started on your shelf or by. But that's one of the most common links with poltergeist activity is fires, just starting out of nowhere.
Matches and things like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it does. It does once again. It's a very. One of my beliefs. I just think it's grown out of control over time. I think it is more than.
Oh yeah, Hollywood probably has helped it, but
I think the film Poltergeist has probably turned it into something greater than it already was.
Still my favourite film.
Yeah. This house is clear. Right. Next.
Me again. Do you want me to just carry on?
Yeah. Just go down the list.
Residual haunting. So the explanation for that, it's not my explanation, by the way. This is somebody's explanation, but I don't know who it is. A non-interactive, repetitive psychic recording of a past event, often traumatic or highly emotional, imprinted in a location, place, much like, I don't know what that is, a Luke's movie. These hauntings are unaware of the surroundings and cannot be communicated with. And I tend to agree with that because I have had experience of that.
I
have had an experience of that. Well, a few.
I have to agree. I have to agree with that terminology. I would say a residual energy is uncommunicatable.
Yeah,
That word.
yeah, that'll do.
And yeah, I think it is a looped plane, and I do think that we come across that quite often within sort of, you know, the field.
Yeah,
I really do feel that it comes across that in the field quite often.
yeah, good.
We can tick that one off.
Tick that one off.
Were you in agreement, Paul? You in agreement with that one?
100%. Yeah, it is. It's just like pushing play on a tape recorder.
Yeah, I agree, and I think
and if you're there at the time, you're going to see it.
Mm.
If you're not there at that time, you ain't going to see it. And that's
I think apparently your weather conditions help a lot. It seems to happen a lot when there's a lot of static energy in the air, like if there's a storm coming and things like that.
Well, I think one of the most. Sorry, Paul. I only mention this because I've watched a documentary based on it. Gettysburg, the famous Gettysburg
battle,
Battle of Gettysburg. Yeah. They say after every storm, you could go and stand in the field of Gettysburg and watch the people walk across and start the charge. And people have seen it over and over and over again. So, hold on. Is there a time limit, do you think? Do they fade over time?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I remember, I can't remember if it was in a book or when I was in the Isle of Wight, but I mean, Isle of Wight's meant to be one of the most haunted places in the UK anyway, but I'm pretty sure they said they see, it was in a basement, but they see Roman soldiers and a horse and carriage just go marching through. But it was only from the waist up on the floor level. So back in the day, that ground was obviously lower. So literally in the basement, they see them from the waist up, just go marching through. So to me, Roman soldiers. I mean, yeah.
I would say I disagree with you both. I do think there would be a time limit on it. I do think the energy would run flat just because, and I'm only going to use it as a thing, is we don't see dinosaurs. So if we don't see dinosaurs walk this earth, let's say they never existed, that I should think that there would be a time limit to, I don't know what the time limit would, but I do feel like the residual energy would burn away at some point.
Do you not think at the time dinosaurs roamed the earth that they would be completely under the ground by now, where they would have been walking? Because, it was pretty much one continent.
Good point.
Yeah, but I still think we would get something. What about the ones that fly? I just feel that there would be some form, I do feel that there'd be a time limit just because, and I'm only putting it just because of the dinosaur fact. That's all. That's the only thing that I'm putting towards it. We don't feel dinosaurs. So there's either two ways that we look at it. We don't feel their energy anymore, or they never existed.
Yeah.
It's one of the things.
It's very, very few people have witnessed a residual haunting.
Well,
so the fact that you're going to catch a dinosaur in one of them, as well as just a normal residual haunting.
I'm going to put another. Hold on, just because one of the questions here.
Yeah, I think so. I do agree with that. Yeah.
I think it probably is.
I
would disagree with that.
No, I agree with that.
The only reason, in my opinion, that people say it's the most common, is because it's always related to one place. You've got more chance of people experiencing it, whether it be at the same time or not. It's always in that same location.
Yeah.
But that's just one residual haunting. So, like you say, the Gettysburg, that's still one residual haunting, no matter how many people have seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
We should probably put it another way. Then perhaps the residual energy is the most common type of haunting that people will see. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that, because if you're going to do a ghost hunt or you're going to do that, you're going to take them to a place where there's a good chance of them seeing residual energy. So more people are going to see it that way.
Mm.
Maybe. I don't know.
Cavemen.
Yeah, but you do see. Yeah, you do see cavemen though. I think you can see cavemen.
The only other time I've seen a caveman was in the TV program Ghosts.
Ooh.
Yes, that's the only time I think I've ever crossed caveman. I'd never.
No.
I personally have never linked in with caveman.
I don't say I've linked in, but I think they've been seen. I'm not talking about linking in. I don't think I've ever linked in.
I don't.
Okay.
I can't say I've ever.
Personally, I don't think there was a time limit. You know, energy's neither created or destroyed. I think it's always there.
Yeah.
So there you go on that one. Right.
Well, that leads us on to the next one, which is stone tape theory.
Which, again, to me, is residual energy.
Yeah, it's theory. That theory suggests that traumatic or intensely emotional events can be recorded as energy into physical surroundings, such as stone walls, ground, and the one that surprised me was water. That did hit me. And replayed at a later date as, say, residual hauntings. Yeah. So, yeah. There's that one.
Yeah, look, I get stone tape theory. I do believe in stone tape theory. I'm a strong believer in stone tape theory. I do think that is a psychometry thing. I do believe that's sort of residual energy sort of thing. It all links.
See, that one would have a date, an expiry date on it to me, because when that building or that's the stone is no longer there.
But I don't get the water theory though.
No, that's why. That shocked me. How does water hold it?
I would get it if it was there all the time, but to say, for example, Warwick Castle, for example, right? It's built right on that river, isn't it? You can look out the window; it's flowing down. So, if that was to run through the castle, the water's running through the castle. The same bit of water that's running through the castle's gone.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I can't. Someone would have to explain.
I'll look into that more.
Someone would have to explain how water holds energy of that.
I will look into that more, because as I say.
But yeah, stone tape theory.
Water.
Absolutely. And I'd say, yeah, I would say once again, do you think there's a time limit on it? I would exactly the same as residual energy. I think to that is to a point. I should think there's more of a time limit on residual in my eyes than stone tape, because obviously things get knocked down and moved. But then does that, when sometimes they knock buildings down, don't they reclaim some of the bricks?
Mm.
So that would then cause that stone tape, for example, London Bridge. Was it London Bridge? They built London, didn't they sell London Bridge?
Yeah.
Then sold it to the Americans, and they took all the bricks across and rebuilt it somewhere else. So in my eyes, that would still be there, and they could have used them bricks to build a house somewhere, and that would have caused residual energy somewhere. So yeah, I'm with Paul there on that one. I do think it would
Keep going
over time, but I think it would have to. But yeah, you don't see it anymore. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Till it's disappeared, the actual brick is actually disintegrated, and you haven't got anything more, like a puff of dust. Poof, gone. Fairy dust. So, just like that. If there's any questions, guys, that you want to ask, if you want to put points across to us, please pop it in the chat. Let us know. So, next one.
Ectoplasm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Two concepts there. It's a wispy, light coloured substance allegedly coming out of the mouths of 19th century mediums.
Yes.
Or a genuine clear gel left by ghosts. Well, have I seen ectoplasm?
We must have seen them pictures of the
In Ghostbusters.
the medium when she's at the table.
Yes. Oh, yes, yeah.
And you can see it coming out of her mouth where
Yeah.
apparently, yeah.
See, I generally, my take on ectoplasm is that we've all got it. We all use ectoplasm, especially when you have the trance mediumship. And I think when you go into your, how do I word it without everyone laughing? Red light work. When you do transfiguration, when you look at other people and you see their faces change, I was always led to believe that is the ectoplasm coming over that person's face and that being manipulated into the shape, the features of that person.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I've led to believe what ectoplasm is. I don't think it is
in saying that, I have seen wispy. I have seen wispy smoke before.
Yeah.
Round a lake at Wethersfield. That was so strange. And so, what was that? What are we calling that?
I would say that's probably the same sort of thing. I would say that is probably, if you're looking at ectoplasm, I think we're looking at it as an ectoplasm. We're all thinking it's a gooey, like Ghostbusters type like substance, but I don't think it has to be. I just think it's something that is either produced by a spirit that can overlay the features of somebody when it turns into we've all done there. We've all had the red light. I think I think Paul caught some really good stuff when we did Buer's Hall, and he had the camera in the mirror behind me. And you could literally see my face, a totally different. You could quite clearly see it in the video. Yeah. So whatever that was, what was changing obviously my face physically can't change because I've got cheekbones, I've got bone there. Something has to come across my face for that to change. So that would be my look at what ectoplasm is.
So it's like a form of manifestation.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do think so. Yeah. Agree.
All agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Next one on the list is EVPs.
Electrical voice phenomena.
Yeah. And basically, there wasn't much on it. It was just it refers to faint, unexplainable voices or sounds found on audio recordings when played back.
See, now I would put residual into that as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
you're right.
Because sometimes, if you could go into, say, an asylum or a hospital and you do an EVP, and some people will get screaming or, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's an intelligent response rather than a memory.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I'd sort of I'd agree with that as well, Paul, because I think one of the best EVPs that we ever caught, in my opinion, that will never be trounced, was two words that just come out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
And it was a big announcement, but it meant nothing to anything at any point. So how you've put it, the residual the residual energy to it, the residualness, I can put it to it. And I'm assuming it's picking electrical waves to make that. It's finding an electrical frequency, because it's an electrical voice phenomenon, something like that. Electric voice phenomenon. So it's obviously picking something out of the sky, like the atmosphere, to produce what it's producing.
Well, it's not that dissimilar to a spirit box. It's just
No.
more clearer if you catch it on a recorder.
Yeah, it's true.
But why don't we hear the thing is, why don't we hear it with our own ears?
Probably because we're not sensitive enough to it.
Yeah, probably not on that frequency to hear.
That's what I'm saying. So it must be.
Yeah, again, frequency, yeah.
What do you think?
What do you think of Mona Scott's capture of EP3's East Drive connecting to Afterlife YouTube? I haven't seen it, Ross, so I can't comment on it, but I shall have a look and let you know.
Definitely have a look, mate. Yeah.
So everybody go over to the Afterlife YouTube channel, connecting to Afterlife YouTube channel. So pop over there. Yeah, I don't want to comment and say anything because I just don't know, Ross. All right. So, but I shall have a look. All right. So either Steve, you all right, mate? Thanks for popping along. So yeah, we all happy with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This word I can never say.
Hold on.
You say it. I can't.
Peridolia.
That's the one.
Paradilia.
Yeah. Paradilia. The psychological phenomenon of perceiving familiar, often meaningful images or patterns, particularly faces with random orbs, clouds, figures on the moon, driven by the brain's tendency to see things. So, yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
I think that's all that is as well, a lot of it.
I'd absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I do think our brain, unfortunately, I don't think, the only problem I have is I don't think that we can untrain the brain because it's already been trained.
Mm.
You know, I don't see anything. When people say, I know the next one coming is going to be controversial, but when people say, oh my God, look at that face within the orb. Yeah. I've only got to look at a wall and I can see a face.
Mm.
I look at my carpet, I can see a face. I look at me lino in the toilet when I'm having a crap, I see a face. Do you know what I mean? So if it's got a pattern, I think I'm trained, my brain is to see a face. And I think I can't really, I think a lot of the things that come through when people, look at it, and 9 times out of 10, people say they zoom right into the orb. They have to zoom right in. They're going like triple the time.
So
like,
pixelated,
like
yeah.
This big on the screen, but when you see it, it's like that big. Well, it's going to be pixelated, as Paul just said. The bigger you make that orb, the more pixelated it's going to become, and you will then see what you want to see in that orb. If, for example, if you are in a castle and you get this orb, you zoom in on it, your brain is going to think, oh my God, it's a knight or a king or a queen, because you're in that, your brain is in that emotion to see that.
Yeah, okay. Can I just play devil's advocate, mate?
Yeah.
So you get a picture, and that person's not in a castle, and you just give any Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street this picture, and they pick it out.
That's evident. That's different. I think you've captured something on a.
Right, yeah.
Are you talking about like a spirit caught on?
Yeah. Like,
that's different to me. But like you say, it's more to do with seeing things like that and pictures in the clouds and.
Yeah, and there's other sorts of orbs that I think you can see that are not actually turning into anything, but.
Oh, we've gone on to orbs.
Oh, sorry. No.
No, I didn't realise. I thought
No.
I was because I was using paradilia and orbs, right. Because I think 9 times out of 10, paradilia is associated with orbs.
Right. Yes.
That's so, and I think 9 times out of 10, people will zoom in on an orb so it's so pixelated that that will cause the point, because orbs are orbs at the end of the day. I'm not here to say, yeah, we'll move on to orbs in a minute. But yeah, pareidolia, I'm a strong believer that our brain, I don't think it's a phenomena. I generally think that's a thing. And I think pareidolia exists in quite a few things.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying pareidolia when we come to still images. When we are coming to still images, there's a difference in my eyes when someone says to me, look at this CCTV footage, and you can see she's not an orb, not a round cylindrical disc floating across the screen, but when I see something pixelated moving like a feet or anything like that, that to me is not pareidolia. That is something that's breaking the system. I'm thinking you're bright. When someone says to me, look at that face, yes, okay, I can see the face quite clearly. Yes, because I think my brain is trained to see that face. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, pareidolia, definitely a thing.
Okay. Well, the next one is orbs.
Yeah.
Translucent or glowing spheres of light appearing in photos or videos can also be seen with the naked eye at times. And I do see a lot of orbs with my naked eye, not particularly on camera, but I do see naked eye. And the ones I've seen and captured, particularly, it was the one at Thorndon Park, and I saw it, and Joe took the picture, and it was like all I can say, it was just like a beam of light coming across the pathway. There was nothing else there, it was pitch black. And it came across the pathway. I saw it with my naked eye. He took the picture, and there it is. Now that to me is an orb that I believe in. I believe that orb was there. I believe it was something trying to manifest itself. Definitely. But I think that it's debatable. Orbs are debatable.
No, I don't think so. I think all you can get orbs. I just think a lot of people passed other stuff off as orbs.
Yeah,
and that's where I think you get the friction between are they real or not, because you see so many when you can clearly see it's dust, and it's you know. But no, I believe they're like plasma balls, energy balls.
Yeah,
I do believe there are orbs. I've seen orbs.
Yeah.
But
Russ, seen orbs?
I will not say. I've probably seen one with my naked eye, two at a push. One was at Rendlesham Forest when the orb of light come towards me, and it was with my naked eye. And I would say the second orb that I saw come towards a female's hand at the Cressing Barn Temple years and years ago, a private event. Any camera, i.e. mobile phone, CCTV, Ring doorbells, I'm very questionable on, because it only happens on them sort of cameras. We have tried to recreate orbs with an SLR camera, single lens reflected camera. You can't catch it. We've done it over and over again. Me and Ryan spent ages trying to capture orbs, and we would have a mobile phone and a camera, and you would be catching orbs left, right, so-called orbs left, right, and center. But on a camera next to it with a single lens reflection, wouldn't catch it. Now, I'm not saying that is the end and all of my debate, because it may be a certain frequency that the camera needs to pick it up. But I generally believe that orbs that we see 9 times out of 10, anything that I feel I catch on camera with orbs and things like that is some form of, you think infrared is run on heat. So when the it's picking up on a heat sensor thing. The infrared is sort of trying to pick up on that heat sensor thing. So when you're seeing most orbs are going around and up and down, I would have to be really different to see an orb different. We got the ebb and flow of the room, where people catch them, where people move, open a door, and there's fluster of dust that comes up, and there's loads of orbs, and they go, "Oh, it's raining orbs! Look at this rain shower of orbs." No, you just open the door, love. Sorry, not to shit on your parade, but that's how I feel. I'm sorry, I'm not an orb person. Never will be an orb person, but I do believe in orbs, but only with my naked eye, and I think they are few and far between. Simply, I think they're probably one of the rarest things that you will see in the paranormal field, other than a ghost. And that's where my pareidolia comes into, because people catch it and zoom it up to where the orb is 10 foot wide. So yeah, to me, yes, they do exist, but I think they're as rare as rocking horse poo. That's as simple as my explanation is. Sorry, but that's my.
That's an opinion, but I believe in orbs much stronger than you do. But then we're always.
Yeah, but I think we will.
I disagree.
That's it. Right. Next.
Infrasound refers to a low frequency sound wave below the human hearing threshold, typically 20 hertz, that can cause physical sensations of fear, anxiety, cold chills, and even hallucinations of ghosts. Often called the ghost frequency, around 18 to 19 hertz. These can cause the human eyeball to resonate, creating a phantom shadow figures in the peripheral vision. That's the explanation for it.
That's a new one on me.
That's a new one on me, really. Have I ever sort of come across infrasound within the paranormal? To be honest and say no, I don't think I have. I don't think it's something that's ever. No, but
I'll be interested to try it though.
Yeah. But...
So infrasound is a frequency. Can we reproduce that frequency?
I think we must be able to.
Yeah, but you'd need something like a 500 pound bleeding device, just them little frequency tweakers that you.
Because that would be very, very interesting.
And I wonder if that gives us, sometimes when we get to a fear situation, is that because of that frequency? So like the fact sometimes I can go into Rendlesham Forest and walk straight down the path, nothing to it. Other times I can't move a foot into it. Could that could be some kind of frequency? I don't know. So I'm just
I don't. Is it? I say there's a lot of things to look into with that one, because it could be something that could be, if it calls your eyes to resonate, if it calls, what does it call? Sorry, eyes to resonate, Simon.
The eyeball to resonate, creating a phantom shadow of figures in the peripheral vision.
So it's how my brain works on this. So how I'm seeing infrasound is something that could be generating at that low frequency within
ghost frequency between 18 and 19 hertz.
So there could be, for example, okay, the easiest way I can put how my brain is figuring this one out. When we go to the secret nuclear bunker, you go right down to that basement.
Yeah.
There's a hum. Throughout that thing, there's a hum.
Yeah.
Now, is that a hum that is causing that low frequency? Is there a frequency that we are picking up that is causing an attunement to spirit? Is it an attunement to allow spirit to easily communicate with us? Or is it a frequency that is playing silly balls with our brains? That's how I see it. I don't quite know if the infrasound
Mate, I
makes
don't
silly
know.
balls with my brain, or it's an easy way to communicate with spirit.
But then is it playing silly balls with your brain, or is it giving you the ability to see what's there?
Yeah,
That's the question.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what
That
my
is the
question
question.
would be.
That is the question.
But are we using infrasound? It's obviously a sound for EVPs. Is it a frequency that we can then? Is it a frequency that could be produced? Because I don't know if we can hear infrasound.
No.
So,
No.
So that's I get what you're saying. That's where you said earlier. How is it we can't hear it, but the recorder
Yeah.
can, because that can pick up them.
a sound. Maybe the infrasound is something that is manipulated for an EVP. That's the only suggestion I can give for infrasound.
That's another good one to look into, though, because if you could get that into a room and see what it does to people, it'd be really, really interesting. If you could get that frequency within that room,
yes,
see if it did cause like let's say hallucinations, hallucinations.
Maybe not do it to paying guests. Maybe that'd be a team. Maybe
No,
that'd be a
I
team.
think that would be a good idea to see Russell's baseball. I've just worked this out. Look,
infrasound. Yeah, it's one of them things. Who knows, eh? Who knows? Right. Next.
Next one's pretty easy. EMF refers to electromagnetic field reader. Refers to invisible energy fields that paranormal investigators believe are produced or manipulated by ghosts, spirits, or entities. Simple as that.
I haven't got a battery in it. That lights up. Simple as something breaks the field. You press this button, light comes. These lights come on, produces a field around it. Anything breaks it, the lights go up and down.
I think they're getting harder and harder to use.
Yeah, I think so as well.
With the amount of phones and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and 5G towers.
Yeah, hold on, sorry, just going back to the infrasound thing. I watched an experiment on TV that did this in an aircraft and it made feel people.
Yes.
Odd.
Yeah, I believe I saw that, but I can't remember what it was called.
So, back to EVPs. I'm with Paul on this one. It's a piece of kit that I do tend to steer away from, unless I can control the actual environment of it.
But then,
I would be
some of the things we've done. We've had some good responses on them. Like, when you ask a question. So I'm not saying it's all, but I just find I think it's harder to rely on them now.
I think it's different if you're in a place and all of a sudden the EMF starts going. Yeah. But if then you're getting an EMF in the spirit, you're asking it to hold it red or flash it twice for yes, once for no.
Yeah,
I think that's a little bit different. I think that's a different experiment in itself with an EMF.
Yeah, I get it. Exactly that. But for me, the only times I would really use a K2 meter, EMF reader, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be sort of something that, some where we go down dark tunnels, we have to go right down to the basement. The walls are about 10 foot thick, where no mobile signals getting down there, no internet is getting down there or anything like that. All mobile phones are off, no outside contact with the world, and that would be my sort of thing. Because I just know there's a lot of places with Wi-Fi within the place, and I know people say you've got to be right up to it and things like that, but it only takes a push or a pull of a signal of a mobile phone that's been left on in a pocket that would try and ping an email, even if it's on flight mode. Sometimes it's still trying to send a signal out of that phone. So yeah, I get it. Yes, spirit can break them. I do believe spirit can. It looks like it's going to say shit, doesn't it? There somewhere. It can break it. but I think it really has to be a controlled environment.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Next.
Apparition. That's a sudden, often unexpected visual manifestation of a spirit, ghost, or spectral figure that appears solid, transparent, or hazy. Unlike a haunting involving only sounds, name, or a feeling, an apparition is a specific, perceived, and detailed sight, often frequently seen at a location by one or numerous people.
I can't really say anything else other than that. I do feel it is an apparition of an energy, a spirit of that place, or your loved ones. I don't think it's drawn to a place or location. I just think it's a manifestation of a spirit.
Seen quite a few of them. I
think an apparition is very, in my eyes. I think there was something to do with, you mentioned about peripheral vision. It was something we spoke about. That's where I would see predominantly in peripheral vision apparitions. I think you see apparitions sort of near doorways as well. I don't know why.
Yeah. Threshold.
Yeah, and so I don't feel that I see them directly in front of me as like there. I always sort of see them sort of.
I have actually seen them in front of me.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen
twice 3 times in front of me.
I was with you one time, Simon. It was my very first ghost hunt with Essex Ghost Hunters.
Yes.
At the High House, Purfleet. Scotty, we was on one side of the room, me and you, Si.
Yeah.
Scotty T was sitting at the table.
And we got a picture of it as well.
But that was after, I think, or before. There was either a single, it was like twice in one night, single apparition, something trying to manifest, and we saw the legs of children running around that bloody table as clear as day, mate. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I think it's quite rare, Ross. I do think it's quite rare. I think it's, and I don't think you see it as. Sometimes I don't think you'll see it as a full-blown person. I just think you see it as what you would call a ghost. Do you know what I mean? Like a mass of colour in your, in your corners. I don't think you could. I don't think the apparitions I've seen, I could say that they had full-blown arms and legs, apart from what Sandra's just said, the gentleman that was walking.
Yes,
I do believe
he's in the middle of the window. Yes, Sandra, you're dead. You're right.
Generally, do believe that we also saw the dog as well. I don't think it was just an apparition of a human. I think it was a human and dog.
Agreed.
So I would say that as well. So yeah, apparitions, I do think they're quite rare. I do think they're quite sought after. How they work, I don't think there's any way to say how they work. I just think if I'm going to have to put it is, I just think it's going to be your eyes get to that frequency, that level.
I was just about to say that. There's got to be, there could be a relationship there, couldn't there? Between,
exactly that. Right, go for it, Simon. Next one.
Right, this one threw me a little bit. Doppelganger.
A doppelganger.
Yeah, is a ghostly figure, often sinister, double walker or spiritual twin of a living person. Frequently considered an omen or impending misfortune, illness, or death. These apparitions may appear to friends, family, or the individual themselves, sometimes mimicking actions or acting as a mirror. But Muslim countries have a strong belief in doppelgangers.
So they say you've got a.
Everybody's got a double, but I don't think that's what we class as a doppelganger. This is
Especially if you see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's usually bad news.
Yeah. It is a strange one. I had to go over that a few times in my head. I still ain't.
What about if you? Yeah. What about if you dream of yourself though?
I think that's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
So we're seeing an apparition of ourself.
You're seeing yourself.
You're seeing a doppelganger, an apparition in spirit as yourself. You're not seeing another human being. You're seeing a spirit of yourself. Is that what we're saying?
I don't know if you think of it as a spirit. It would look like another human, but it's you.
Yeah.
I'm lost. I'm lost because I don't quite understand what the doppelganger is.
They call it a spiritual twin of a living person. So I think you're seeing yourself. So it's like being in a mirror.
Yeah. So say if you was walking down a lakeside shopping centre and coming towards you, you saw yourself walking towards you.
Yeah.
And you both pass and look at each other.
Right.
And you carry on walking. You think, what the hell have I just seen?
I've just seen that.
Is that a real person or is that a spirit?
Well, in your head, it's a real person walking towards you. Whether it is or not, I don't know.
No, we can't answer that one. It's a doppelganger.
Yeah. And the same can be said if someone else sees you when you're not there.
Yeah,
but then I've always called that everybody's got a double in their world.
Yeah. But
that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
I mean, if someone actually saw you.
Yeah. AI, they probably could nowadays.
What about a voice doppelganger experience? Could that be a spirit manifestation?
No, I would say that's more that's more of a malevolent spirit. If it's mimicking someone's voice.
Yeah.
I'd go with that as well. I'd say that. I'm just torn between what we are. I can't work out what the explanation that they're giving us of a doppelganger is. I can't work out if they're telling me, because obviously people have gone up to me and said many times, and I'm not being funny, Simon, Henry, Jay and Maz saw me fishing around a fishing lake and took a picture of a bloke fishing that looked like me. And I still look at that picture and think, shitting hell, that is me.
Yeah.
So is that a doppelganger? Because
that's a doppelganger in human form.
But that's what I'm saying.
No, that's a good question, Russ. I don't know.
That is what I'm saying.
But we talked to him. We talked to him because we had to take a photo of him.
Oh, really?
But that's what I'm saying.
So that's just someone that looked like you, then, isn't it?
But they do say that everybody's got someone that looks. But I haven't got the picture, unfortunately. I've changed my phone by then. It will be somewhere on one of my feeds. But
just take a selfie and it looks like that.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, but I get what Paul's saying. I do get that's another experience. You're walking through a shopping centre, you see yourself coming towards you, walk past you, you look, and then you think, "What the hell's just happened there?"
Yeah, but see, now I think it works more with someone else sees you when it's not you, not a lookalike, Russ. Actually seeing you when it's not you, because
we've got a call coming in. Bear with me. Hello. Can you hear us?
She's doppelganger.
Hold on, bear with me a second. I'm just going to try and connect you to Bluetooth. Bear with me a second. I'm just trying to connect you, and I don't know why it's not connecting.
I can still hear you.
But I don't think the other people can hear me. Let me just try. I'll just give you a call back, okay? Just bear with me, and I'll give you a call back, okay? I need to know why that can't take calls, because we have got a call, but then
Hey,
it's doing everything. Cancel.
God, this is the first, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Now I'm trying to figure out. The phone has done a whole reset, but it's not allowing me to get.
It's your fault for saying that at the beginning of the show about Mercury retrograde.
Very much so. Very much so.
It is your fault, yeah.
Yeah.
Cancel. But why didn't it? What is no home? Right. This could be it. Let's see if we go straight through to there. Okay. Let's see if we've got that connected. It says it's connected. Keep talking, you two.
Yes, so this, yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's the weird thing is about if you're actually seeing the person, if somebody else is seeing the person, you're right. Say one of your family sees you.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. But I was always under the impression that if you saw yourself, actually saw yourself, you wouldn't recognise them.
Right, I'm going to try and ring this person back. All right.
Okay.
Go.
I'm not sure if I can be able to hear him, but you might be able to hear him. Hello there. Can you hear us?
No.
No.
No, the signal's really bad.
Hear us?
No, sorry.
Right, I can't. You're going to have to ask the questions because I can't hear. I'm going to have to put a pair of headphones in.
No, sorry.
Can you speak to the guy?
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, the signal, I can see the three of you on the TV, but the signal's really bad.
Okay.
Right, I think I've got a bit of an echo here as well. Can you hear yet, Russ?
Nope. Just hold fire. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering, what do you think about the Witch place in St. Osyth?
The code.
Cage. The cage. Hello?
The cage.
Yeah, the cage.
Yeah. What do I
I've
think?
never been there, but
I've been to the cage, and to be honest with you, I don't know if it was just the night that I went to the cage. I'm not going to say it didn't have anything there, but I was picking more up towards the back of the cage in the back alley. There were certain things there, but not. I wouldn't say I was overwhelmed with the activity there. Have you been?
Has somebody just bought the property?
Yes.
An Australian bloke.
Yeah, an Australian bloke, and she does Amy's Crypt. They ghost hunters. So hopefully, it'll go out again to the public soon. Perhaps she'll let people in there.
Could I get your name, please, sir?
Hello?
Could we grab your name, please, so we can call you a name? Sorry, I didn't get your name.
It's Demon Dean. Dean.
Dean.
Demon Dean, Russ.
Demon Dean. Hello, Demon Dean. You've been talking about the cage, I believe, yeah?
Yes, I live in Clacton, and I keep inquiring about the caves. I wouldn't mind having a visit there.
You might get one soon then, because the Amy's Crypt has taken it over.
Yeah, I do believe that another company has taken it over. They're going to turn it into some form of paranormal headquarters.
So you might get in there.
Thank you, Demon Dean, for your call. We're having a bit of technical issues. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, thank you.
If you do want any more information, just give us an email, info@essexghosthunters.co.uk. Okay?
Thanks, Dean.
Did you have to sort out that signal, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
Very delayed.
I think there was a very much I think it's the echo that's causing the issue. It's my end that's causing that issue. We'll do some test runs over the next couple of days anyway.
Russ, I'm just looking at the time.
I know.
And I'm thinking we've got this quite
About halfway through, isn't we?
Yeah, we're about halfway through. We're not maybe 3/4.
Yeah, so we'll call it part 1. All right, part 1, and we will do the next part soon. All right, Ross, I don't get doppelgangers, nor do I at this moment in time.
I'll have a look. I'll try and look a bit more for doppelgangers in the week and see what I can come back with. But you know, this is only sort of a quick flick through of what things are. So I'll dig a little bit deeper.
Well, we'll call this part 1. Okay, we'll call this part 1, and in a couple of weeks' time, we'll go in for part 2. Okay, because that's to be fair, I thought we would have got them all done, but we haven't. So, thank you ever so much. Thank you for Demon Dean, who
cheers, Demon Dean.
My first caller, actually.
First caller, and hopefully you'll call in again once we've got the signal sorted out and how it works. So I do believe it's something to do with my end more than anything. I think I've got to turn my volume down because you're hearing. I think you're hearing it out of my speaker back into my microphone. So I don't quite know how I'd stop that, but it's good. But I do appreciate you calling. Thank you, everybody, thank you, Demon Dean, for calling. So we won't, just to let you know, they don't know as well, we won't be back next week because I'm working late next week. So there'll be no chance of me getting back because I don't finish work to round about 10:30. So there'll be no way of getting a show out to you next week. So them two are going to have a nice week off where they can do more revision on the subjects, on doppelgangers and everything like that. Well, I'm stuck at work. So thank you for everybody that has watched. Please follow us all on all the social medias. Make sure that you're following us on Spotify as well. Get over there, get on Spotify, and have a listen to this part 1 of the A to Z of the paranormal. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
also, if you'd like to join us on a ghost hunt, must just say this: we've only got very limited tickets left now on our events. There's some for Erith Library that are coming up in April, which is going to be a wow. And I think the only ones we've got left after that is Fort Whitley, and that's in October, Halloween.
yes.
So if you want to book an event, get on there now because it's time. You can miss out if not. We can't put tickets on.
We definitely can't. We are bursting at the seams. So definitely get over there, guys, and get it sorted. Get booking. All right. Thank you for everybody that's watched tonight. Ross has watched. Heidi has watched. Matt has watched. We've had
Mrs. A has watched.
Mrs. A has watched. Everybody that's watched. So thank you ever so much. Take care, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time.
See you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye-bye.